At 4 a.m. on February 26, in the familiar setting of a livestream for ARMY, Jungkook appeared in a version of himself far removed from his usual stage persona. There were no concert lights, no flawless choreography, no meticulously styled image. Instead, there was a 27-year-old man speaking candidly about pressure, admitting to smoking, drinking, swearing, and most importantly, declaring his desire to live life on his own terms. Within hours, Korean media erupted in controversy. Yet amid criticism and disappointment, an article from Newsys titled "The Weight of the BTS Crown and the Growing Pains of Golden Maknae" Jungkook offered a different perspective. Rather than framing the moment as moral deviation, it suggested viewing it as a painful but necessary stage of growth. The issue was never simply whether he drank or not. The deeper question was this: is a global K-pop idol allowed to be an ordinary human being? When the crown becomes a burden. For more than a decade as a member of BTS, Jungkook has carried the title Golden Maknae. While it sounds affectionate, it has functioned as an invisible weight. He debuted before turning 16, grew up under relentless public scrutiny, and has rarely experienced youth outside the spotlight. His perfection was not accidental. It was forged through discipline, corporate expectations, and the hypercritical gaze of a global audience. From vocals and dance to personal image, he has existed within a rigid framework where even minor deviations risk becoming media crises. That early morning livestream, therefore, was not just a casual broadcast. It felt like a crack in a marble statue polished for too long. And it was that crack that reminded the public, behind the monument stands a living, breathing human being. "I will live my life my own way," a generational statement. Jungkook's declaration was not shocking because it was rebellious. It was shocking because it was profoundly ordinary. A 27-year-old saying he wants to live on his own terms is, in most professions, an unquestioned right. But within the K-pop idol ecosystem, ordinary is a luxury. Idols are expected to be flawless, no visible weaknesses, no moral lapses, no exhaustion, no vulnerability. They are cultural products, aspirational figures, even national pride. So when Jungkook stated that even his drunken words are part of his authentic self, and that he was fully aware his remarks might spark controversy, he was not merely speaking personally. He was challenging the deeply embedded standard of absolute perfection within the industry. Western parallels, lessons from Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. The Newsys analysis deliberately placed Jungkook alongside Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. In the documentary Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me, Selena dismantled her polished pop star image, publicly revealing her bipolar disorder, obsessive-compulsive tendencies, and deeply personal struggles. Western audiences responded not with condemnation, but with empathy. Her vulnerability became a pathway to healing. Justin Bieber's journey was more turbulent: DUI charges, destructive behavior, relentless paparazzi pursuit. Yet those public mistakes ultimately forced him to establish boundaries, seek therapy, and reconstruct his identity. Compared to Bieber, Jungkook has not spiraled into self-destruction. Compared to Selena, he has not publicly disclosed mental health diagnoses at that depth. But the shared thread is unmistakable: the desire to be recognized as a person, not merely a symbol. Controversy or a sign of psychological health? Certainly, drinking and swearing during a livestream viewed by millions is not behavior to be encouraged. From a public standards perspective, it is a misstep that warrants reflection and accountability. However, viewed through a broader psychological lens, Jungkook's honesty may indicate a healthy developmental process. Rather than suppressing his feelings, he voiced them. Rather than pretending invulnerability, he acknowledged exhaustion. Instead of perpetually performing the perfect idol, he accepted the risk of showing imperfection. In a society where burnout and depression among young adults are rising, a global star openly admitting fatigue may carry unexpected positive implications. It sends a powerful message: success does not equate to immunity from struggle. BTS and the art of transforming crisis into creation. Historically, BTS has demonstrated a remarkable capacity to transform crises into artistic fuel. From early domestic criticism to the pressures of global superstardom, the group has consistently converted adversity into narrative and music. Jungkook, now firmly establishing himself as a solo pop force in the 2020s, appears to be entering a similar phase. His single Standing Next to You once symbolized loyalty and companionship. After this livestream, its meaning feels more layered, standing beside fans not only in triumph, but also in vulnerability. If BTS is indeed preparing for a new chapter, this controversy may function less as damage and more as inoculation, a necessary confrontation before a full group return. Jungkook seems to have faced himself before facing the world again. Imperfection as the foundation of social connection. What makes BTS a global phenomenon extends beyond chart records or awards. It lies in their ability to articulate generational anxieties, pressure, confusion, identity crises, and the determination to rise above them. Jungkook's 4 a.m. livestream did not dismantle his image. It humanized it. And paradoxically, that rawness may strengthen his bond with ARMY, many of whom grapple with their own societal expectations. Idols do not need to be flawless to inspire. Sometimes, they simply need the courage to say, "I have flaws too." In the broader landscape of pop culture, that early morning moment may ultimately be remembered not as a scandal, but as a milestone of growth, not the collapse of an icon, but the redefinition of one. And perhaps, from that visible crack, a new musical chapter, more honest, more resonant, will emerge.